Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making an impact in our community and around the globe. Located just 600 feet from the historic Sun Studios in Memphis, Tennessee, is a museum full of iconic American sports cars called the Edge Motor Museum. Joining us to talk about it today is their executive director, Richard Vining. Richard, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Andrew. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we talk about the Edge Motor Museum, give listeners an idea for your background and expertise leading into creating the Edge Motor Museum.
Well, it is not in doing a museum, that is for sure. I've lived in Memphis basically my whole life. I have a heart for this place, and I worked in institutional bond sales for a while, and then went and worked at a great organization called Streets Ministries for 10 years. And I helped with the business office is what I did. So I'd say my background has always been in business and finance, but particularly the nonprofit dollar more recently in my professional career, and combine those things into what this is here. The Edge Motor Museum is a 501c3 auto museum. And our mission here is to preserve these cars through informative-based presentation. And it's a beautiful place, and it's a lot of fun to do.
You get to play with cars all day. And I know that there's so much more to that, but
yes.
But yeah, that's got to be a lot of fun. Talk about the rise of the American sports car post-war United States to the 1970s, and then some of the cultural, political, and technological trends that molded them into such an iconic place in our nation's history, which is what your museum really displays in this exhibition.
We highlight, like you said, from post-war to 74. It's really post-war to about 72, but that doesn't rhyme quite as well. America had cars for a long time, but it wasn't until we had 3 million GIs go to Europe to fight in World War II, where for the first time they saw cars they'd never seen before, something that was fun to drive, the fact that a car could be an activity, something to do. Our cars, the definition of a car in America prior to World War II was that it was a mode of transportation. It got you from A to B, and it helped make work easier. Well, they saw examples of cars that were really fun, and you could work on them yourself. You could build your own. You could go have a nice time in it, and the activity was driving. And so, initially, that's what we did. We made our own. That's what hot rodding is. But American business then stepped in and started supplying cars to that market. And you see some of the examples behind me. They're in chronological order. Small, lightweight European replicas that we even gave European names: Corvette, Avanti, Kaiser Darren. But because we're America and we had fuel and steel at the time and brand new roads, and we dropped the V8 in there and started adding amenities like windows and heaters and radios and back seats. And slowly, because of those factors you mentioned, the American sports car kind of molds itself into something unrecognizable on the roads in Europe as a sports car, but is uniquely American. We go post-war to right up there, 74, because that's right when the EPA, which needed to happen, really hurt the performance of these cars. The NTSB started changing the design of these cars, bumper testing and side impact testing and headrests and seat belts and things like that. Then the fuel crisis and high interest rates and just all the economic factors that worked against. I like to say this was my finance side coming out, is that other countries aren't necessarily this way. That the ultimate discretionary income item that this country has ever had is the sports car. It is a barometer of U.S. economic health. And in good times, you have great sports cars. And in not so great economic times, you have less than desirable sports cars. I like to point out the 1978 Corvette has less horsepower than the first Corvette. It is not a great car. Good looking car. It just didn't perform the way that the Corvettes did just 10 years prior. So we do a rise and a fall, and it's fun to see those factors wiggle their way into this a story that we call American Speed.
It's really fascinating to really dive into the economic factors when it comes to the design and functionality of these cars. And what would you say is like in today's economic times, which are very fascinating, and we're leading out through this pandemic, what would you say is today's industry of a sports car, and how maybe it may reflect in a certain decade or series of years that you may have on display now, and how that sort of like goes together?
Yeah, it, what a sports car is changes as the market is what they're interested in. Early on, it was being nimble and running around a road course kind of thing. And later on, as we get into the muscle era, everyone wanted to know what your quarter mile time was. Then that somehow became what's your 0 to 60 time. Right now, we're really into the acceleration wars of because we kind of did all we can do with horsepower. We're getting near 1,000 horsepower in some of these cars, but we're just fascinated by getting 0 to 60 and with these electric cars. And so what we want out of our sports car, what we want it to do, is always moving. And it's kind of fun to see different eras put emphasis on different things and what they want out of that car.
Good point. Now, for those that may be listening, not in the Memphis area, the Edge District, where you are located, is nestled in between two boroughs. You've got sort of the Midtown Medical District, you've got downtown Memphis, where you'll find this unique spot of restaurants, breweries. Talk about being located in the Edge District. I mean, it's in your name too. And what your neighbors are doing to revitalize this historic area.
Yeah, I've been told it got its name Edge District because people always go, where is it? Well, it's on the edge of downtown. It's on the edge of Midtown. It's on the edge of the medical district. It is on the edge of everything. And somewhere along the line, they just said, let's just call it the Edge District. So being new to the neighborhood and wanting to embrace it, because I don't think we would try this concept necessarily anywhere else in town. We wanted to be in this neighborhood, in the Edge District. You think about so many of the things that Memphis is good at in terms of cultural and musical tourism. We're right next to Sun Records. A lot of the people that go there also go to the Civil Rights Museum. They go to Stax, Soulsville, Graceland. All of those things have this era in common, the 50s and 60s and early 70s. And so we kind of position ourselves as a complementary thing to do amongst all the other great things there are to do here in Memphis, and maybe add a little depth and breadth to the other things that you do when you come to this neighborhood. We really like it here. And like I said, I'm not so sure we would try this concept anywhere else. And we have a world map that people put their pins in, and they're from everywhere, Andrew. I mean, all over the place. And I would really like to say that every one of those pins in that map came here to see the Edge Motor Museum. They didn't. More than likely, they got told they had, a 45-minute wait or 90-minute wait at Sun or something like that. But they come in here, and when they leave, they go, wow, not only is this a fantastic exhibit, you're in a really cool neighborhood. And we saw 3-4 other things to do in that short little walk between here and Sun.
Yeah, the walkability and just being able to really take in the soul of Memphis. And like you said, these other institutions and museums are they really complement your era of cars too, because historically, culturally, pop culture wise, they're all sort of in that same feel from the 50s through the 70s. And so that is a very unique thing that I feel like Memphis has going for it. Now, amidst all these American sports cars, when I was doing my research, I saw that you've got a 1950 MGTD. Talk about why you have that car and what it inspired.
There we go. People will go, hey, you call yourself American Speed. What is that doing here? Ideally, it would be a pre-war piece. We kind of say that one is sort of a pre-war piece because from 1934 to 1950, the MG was exactly the same. Why? Because if you're an engineer in the UK, you were designing things other than a really cool MG during that time frame. It was World War II. But we like to say that's the kind of car a GI might have seen on the road over there in Europe and said, I want that. And so we imported our demand and desire to have cars that were fun to drive like that MG from that experience in World War II. I would love for it to be a Jaguar 120. We have a Railton on our radar that would be really, really neat. Some Spanish Roadster, maybe an Aston Martin or something like that. But it's an inspiration piece that kind of kicks off the journey you're about to go through as you chronologically explore these American sports cars.
Now, talk about the pit crew, being a member, what membership looks at the Edge Motor Museum.
Yes. As far as local involvement, we sell tickets and we do some events and things like that. But our membership is the thing that kind of means the most to us here, and it's affordable. I mean, we have student memberships for $25, family memberships 250, and things like that. You get free admission, you get a discount in our gift shop, you get use of the conference room, and then you can also host an event, a member event. We don't throw parties here. We're a museum with millions of dollars of cars that people are loaning to us. We don't own them, and so if you want to have a member event where we can kind of further our mission and talk about it, but you can also have a nice time, you're allowed to do that if you're a member. But really what you're doing is supporting a really nice thing in this town. We're really proud of that these aren't our cars. There are 19 different owners in here, and we have over 100 members, I think 111 members right now that are active. Memberships are good for a year unless you buy the lifetime one. But it's just a way to say, hey, I'm supporting not only this museum and these cars, but I'm supporting a really nice thing here in Memphis that I would like for folks to take ownership in and be proud of. Because people say, hey, are you the owner of the museum? I go, no more than you are. I'm just the executive director here. It is a nonprofit. No one owns anything here, particularly the cars. And so we need people to be proud of, hey, this is a really nice museum, along with a lot of other nice museums.
I was looking on your website, and you have a great list of the cars that you have on display, as well as sort of like a comprehensive list of all of the cars. One of them is a 2008 Tesla. And in the, I'm thinking, okay, what's a Tesla doing there in 2008? And so I'm looking, and there's some really great stories that you have from the owners. This story of an owner that basically, long story short, and I want everyone to go to the website and see it, but basically dodged, for lack of a better word, 9/11 in New York, working in New York, living in Memphis or whatnot, and being able to then say, I want to invest in a car that doesn't depend on foreign oil and such like that. And you've got these great, rich stories that are on your website about the cars. And I imagine, of course, that when you visit the museum, you learn about these stories as well. Your branding as well as top notch. You have this really fun poster series. Talk about the limited 18 by 24 prints showcasing those iconic cars.
I want to go back to when you were talking about the Tesla and that story. I'm holding up my arm. I get bumps on my arm when you say that. That is a powerful, powerful story. And that car's parked right next to a 1913 Model T. The idea being America got off the horse and into the car, or onto a piston-powered car, and then 100 years later, getting off of pistons and into an electric car. And it's just a thought exercise. But the stories that come with the cars are everything from chilling to amazing to heartwarming. And you're right. It just adds a richness to the beautiful vehicle on display in front of you. But the poster series, we used a local branding company called Baby Grand. We use a local architect called Design Shop. And this place would not be at all what it is without the two of them. I like to say this is what you see here in the display and how we do it. It's what happens when you don't say no to a designer and an architect and a builder a whole lot. And it is a wonderful, wonderful space. But the folks who did the branding, Baby Grand, visually, they do a really good job using colors that already existed on a car or streets. There's nothing competing with what's on display, but they weren't huge car fans. But as they got into doing this project, they're like, hey, this is really actually kind of cool, which is exactly what we wanted to have happen here, Andrew. And so when they were done, he's like, do you mind if I basically draw a couple of these cars? And yeah, we paired them up with some era appropriate slogans, and we did posters and postcards out of them. It's our best seller out of the gift shop. The original pieces of artwork. We just sold out of our first run of the GT500 and have some more on the way, getting them printed here again locally. And we have lots of other shirts and hats and things that you would expect in a gift shop. But these posters are just kind of extra neat because I like how this is what we want to have happen. Someone come in here, go through the American Speed experience, be engaged by the stories, be in touch with a docent, and suddenly be inspired to do something as a result of it. And these designers were inspired to do posters.
What puts a smile on your face when you look at that work that you've been able to do to not only curate this collection, but bring these historically significant cars to Memphis to be on display?
To see someone who say that they came in here and they basically just had some time to kill before they go to their tour of Sun, okay? And to see them leave here going, this is the coolest thing we've done in our time here in Memphis. How come I didn't know about this ahead of time? To see someone become excited about the history that these cars represent as a result of walking through the door. That happens a lot where we've got great technology, and we've got wonderful, it's the docent interaction. Or in some case, not as much. Some folks just want to soak it in on their own. But to see someone get excited about, wow, that was really unexpected. And I'm not, a lot of folks would say, well, I walked in the door not being a real car person, but now, you know what? I really thought that Studebaker was kind of interesting, or I learned something about a Crosley Hotshot that I didn't even know that car existed. Or, you mentioned the Doris Day car, which I get to get in and actually drive today. Excited about that. It's a beautiful day. And so we actually, these cars all run and drive. Today is that car's day. To be excited about it and make other connections as a result of that car, that's really neat.
How can the community support you to expand? What are some of your dreams if money wasn't a factor, location wasn't a factor? What are your dreams and aspirations for the Edge Motor Museum?
We have an excellent board of directors, and we have a great initial staff here. And my goal is for this place. What would make me most sad, Andrew, is to do this project, and then let's say I retire from it, and then the place just kind of fades away. That happens to auto museums. It does. It's a passion project. It happens to a lot of nonprofits. It's a passion project. That would make me really sad. And everything we do to build this place out corporately and otherwise is to make sure that does not happen. I want this place to continue to exist in Memphis far beyond anyone that's currently here. And so that's important. But the local community, one, we're always looking for cars. In particularly the American Speed theme, post-war to 74, but we have room for some just cool stuff up front. It doesn't have to fit the theme, so we're looking for that. We do a monthly Cars and Coffee. We're the second Saturday of the month. And we have an email list, but it's basically, it can be cold, doesn't matter, but if it's raining, we don't do it. But by and large, we show up no matter what. And we do that almost every single month, unless it's raining. And then once a year, the second Saturday in October, we do our annual car show. It's growing and growing. We're up over 160 cars. The neighborhood association here in the Edge District blocks the street. We have food trucks. We had a band. We do 20 plus awards. It's becoming just like a festival. And it's an awful lot of fun. And we just kind of celebrate all things automotive here in the Edge District that second Saturday in October. But we also need memberships, and we need people to bring their family when they have them in town at Thanksgiving or just some random weekend, or just support this place. We exist basically off tourism, which is kind of the business model, but nothing makes us feel better because we always ask, where are you from? And someone said, I'm from here in town. I'm in Memphis. I was like, awesome, great. How'd you hear about us? So I suspect I'm going to get more of that after doing this with you from our local friends.
Now, where can people go to learn more about the Edge Motor Museum, purchase tickets, and support your efforts?
Thank you for this opportunity. No, edgemotormuseum.com. Just go there, buy tickets. We're open 7 days a week. You can always call us to check, but all the information we have on Google and our website as far as dates and times and days that we're open is correct, and we manage it. I know that's been hard for a lot of folks going in the door. Not us. We've got that information correct. Our website not only has an archive of every car we've ever had listed on there, along with photos and specs and things like that, but it's also currently what's on display, so you know what you're going to see when you come there.
Richard, thank you for everything that you're doing at the Edge Motor Museum, bringing world-class post-war to 74 American Speed cars right to our area, and to inspire others to take action and to really understand the breadth and beauty of the American sports car. So Richard, thank you for coming on the show.
Andrew, this is a tremendous opportunity. I really value it and appreciate it. Thank you for doing all that you do.